Leave Christmas alone.
Hi, my name is Sydney. Welcome back to my channel. Now, if you follow me on any other platform, particularly Instagram, you will know that I love Christmas. I just really like the light displays. They're very sparkly. As with most things in 2018, no good deed goes unpunished, which is why it's unsurprising that the left are now targeting Christmas, carols, and Santa. God, I hate them. No doubt most of you heard the news that the Christmas Carol Baby It's Cold Outside is considered rapey, although it was also considered rapey last year and the year before. This is not a new phenomenon. But nevertheless, it was pulled from radio stations around the United States. But the buck does not stop there. Apparently now, candy canes are not okay because they're in the shape of a J, and J stands for Jesus. An elementary school principal has been put on leave after banning candy canes, which she said are a Christian symbol. According to Liberty Counsel, Jennifer Sinclair, the principal of Omaha area Manchester Elementary School, wrote a memo this November to teachers banning all decorations and school assignments that make any reference to Christmas, including the colors red and green. You what? Okay, crazy bait. Yeah, let's just ban colors, red and green. Sounds like a good idea. In fact, you know what? Let's just ban all the colors, because I'm sure to someone out there, all of them are racist.
Candy cane girl!
Sinclair was so thorough in her inclusivity that she banned candy canes on the grounds that their shape is a J for Jesus. Historically, the shape is a J for Jesus, she claimed. The red is for the blood of Christ, and the white is a symbol of his resurrection.
None for Gretchen Wieners, bye.
Lady. Let's be fair, if you're gonna ban candy canes for any reason, it should probably be because they're sugar-filled crap sticks that will ruin your insides and probably your teeth. Not because they could possibly have a vague association with Jesus. I actually don't know how this person managed to make this association. Like, I really don't. I'm kind of just like, how did you get here? Like this article said as well, apparently this principal was put on leave and the school district reversed her decision-making. Talk about having your legacy removed just for trying to be inclusive. This should serve as a warning to the rest of you. So, I went and looked up the origin of candy canes just to sort of see if this one was correct or not. She was not correct. Candy canes started off as a sugar stick for children. They were white and they were straight. Ha! Yeah, they were. So, like, I'm not really sure where the red and white came from. I can't really find the origin of that makes any sort of, like, tangible sense. But what we can gauge here is that the colors probably came from accidents, or maybe because they're just the person making them really like the color red. The point is, there's no Jesus in sight, my friends.
I'm here just to do whatever I can.
The main thing that is beginning to annoy me about these attacks on Christmas is that now the left are going for Santa Claus, because apparently he too is fair game. Santa Claus should be female or gender neutral according to nearly a third of people, survey reveals. Well, this is a special kind of hell. I just really want to know who these people were surveying. Like, were they specifically picking people with micro fringes, you know, who wear their beanies too far back on their heads, who say things like, I like that band before you. Santa Claus should be gender neutral according to more than 15% of Brits surveyed on how to modernize Christmas. I get it now. So the sample size was tiny and they're trying to make it representative of all people. I get it. Graphic Springs asked 400 people from the US and the UK about the ways to modernize Santa. In the UK, nearly 1 in 6 of those questions thought Santa should be gender neutral. This is the thing that absolutely kills me about this. Santa is already a magical gift-giving warlock. He is about as made up as gender neutrality. Except when you consider the fact that he's based on a historical figure. There's that too. The ideal modern Santa has tattoos, a more trim beard, skinny jeans, sneakers, and a hoverboard instead of a sleigh. Think of him as more of a metrosexual. I mean, I'm just considering the fact that I really don't want a metrosexual person coming down my chimney. Although realistically, that's, you know, probably like breaking and entering by these people's standards, so more than likely he'll probably just turn up in like a Prius. Nearly 11% of respondents said Santa should be female, with 17% saying he should be gender neutral, though a majority of 72% believe Santa should be classified as male. yeah, that's probably because 72% of people aren't dead from the neck up.
Meaning?
As for a female Santa, I was over here thinking that's why Mrs. Claus exists. Because, you know, even though she's not historical or anything, she's here for the gender equality. Woo! This also reminded me of another article that I saw last month referring to more changes to Santa as well. I've got the beard and the tummy. Indigenous dad challenges Santa stereotype. Alright, we're going down this road? Okay. I think Santa is less of a stereotype and more of a based on historical events kind of guy. The Aboriginal man from Adelaide was recently disappointed after seeing a talent agency advertisement looking to hire Caucasian men to play Father Christmas. After starting a small online campaign about the perceived racial discrimination, the story attracted attention from the local newspaper and TV stations.
I am an Indigenous person. My mother's side was Jingli and my dad's side was Dargaman. Anyone can be Santa, whether if you're an Asian, Afro-American, which I know I've actually seen a lot of Afro-American Santas. I was a little bit offended over it, and I did give the place a call a few days later about it. Sadly, I didn't get any work from them, but yeah, a lot of my friends are behind me.
Okay, so I really don't want to stomp all over this guy because he seems like a genuinely nice person, but as you know, when it comes to me, anytime you take a situation down the racial discrimination road, it really makes me mad. And the reason this irritates me in this case is because Santa, he has origins in Europe predominantly, where all those nasty white people live. Now, whether it be suggesting that Santa should be a woman, gender neutral, a color other than white, typecast as a fire-breathing dragon that eats babies, I don't care. The point is, all of it drives me mad. And like I said, it's largely because Santa Claus or Father Christmas is based on a 4th century bishop from what is now known as modern Turkey. St. Nicholas isn't like the Easter Bunny or the Tooth Fairy, who are, for the most part, made up. He actually existed, he actually gave people gifts, and he actually did a lot of really nice things for people. And he was Greek, which means that he was probably white and a little bit tanned.
Oh, you go, Glen Coco.
St. Nicholas was a pretty big deal for a lot of Christians, especially because he was exiled and imprisoned for being a Christian, which led him to have his own day on December 6th. Anyway, since about the 16th century across Europe, that's when Santa Claus or Father Christmas became a pretty significant figure in relation to Christmas and Yule celebrations. So, knowing all of that, now we can see that Santa is typecast as a white guy and a man because originally he was a white guy and a man. Moving along. You might also have seen around the interwebs that apparently Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is now racist, bigoted, and homophobic.
Hey, look at the beef. Beef, buy us new. Hurry, Ballpot. Right now. Stop calling me names.
Yeah, of course he is. I just kind of want to know where PETA is through all this. I mean, like, they love them animals and they always want to protect them. Isn't this, like, animal abuse?
All right, son, try it on.
I don't wanna. Daddy, I don't like it.
You'll like it and wear it.
The first thing I also thought when I watched this was that, you know, this is based on the song, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, where he's bullied for having a different colored nose, and then he gets kicked out of all the reindeer games, and then in the end, Santa grows to love him, and he leads the sleigh into the night. Even so, this film is from 1964. You know, before everyone was perpetually offended.
Stop it. Get some help.
As per usual, the left have missed the entire point of this and the purpose of what this story is trying to tell us. Being that you have an outcast little reindeer who doesn't fit in and then learns through adversity that it's actually okay to be an outcast, and being the way he is okay. Because basically in every movie, the protagonist goes through a series of trials and tribulations and comes out the other end of it. Whether or not they're better off or worse off for it, we don't know. But the reality is that most movies follow this sort of style of experience for the main character. Children's movies aren't any different. It doesn't make it offensive, it makes it life. If you watch a children's film as an adult and you get offended, cool. If you think that it makes your position right or it makes that movie actually offensive, that's not exactly the case. I mean, there's literally hundreds of leftist movies now on Netflix that follow very leftist storylines, and do I get offended with all the propaganda? A little bit. I mean, no. And I certainly don't go and flood the internet with all my opinions about how oppressed I feel because of it. This is by no means an exhaustive list of all the stupid things that the left has done to try to destroy Christmas for those of us who actually enjoy happiness, which is totally unsurprising. But I think just because it's Christmas, it's really important to have a laugh at this sort of stuff, because if you don't laugh, then you just might cry. I will say though, on a serious note, I do feel as though this sort of thing is a very close reflection of what is going on in society at the moment, meaning that everything is offensive and nothing is safe. I don't like the fact that a lot of people who are in positions of authority in Western countries are all too happy to give up our Christmas traditions and celebrations in order to appease minority groups or other groups of people who might find them offensive or unjust. I honestly hate the fact as well that a lot of this targets children, because the reality is that Christmas for kids is probably the best and happiest time of the year for them. It's the most exciting time when something magical happens. Nevertheless, like I said, I don't like the idea that we are selling out the things that are important to us in order to appease everyone else. If it offends you, don't participate. And on that note, let me say that inclusivity in a lot of ways is pretty overrated, and if you don't want to be doing something, then don't do it. If you guys know of any other ridiculous things that are happening in relation to Christmas, or any weird screw-ups that are going on in relation to the left, let me know in the comments, because I find it genuinely hilarious. As always, if you like the video, hit subscribe and the thumbs up button. If you want to leave a comment, feel free to do so, just don't be rude about it. And I will see you guys next time.